Welcome to Salty Saturday. I'm Slimsh, back from being away for a little while. I'm here with Tom Locke tonight.
Hey, I'm Tom Locke. My name's Brandon. If you want to know my name, I used to play on the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour. I won Star City, Iowa back in 2012 or 13, something like that. And I am the captain of Team Swagoi, and I just beat Schlimpsch this week, so they're my accomplishments.
F. It's a good accomplishment. I'll give you that. So we've got some matches lined up tonight, and starting off, we have them all ready to go. Blue Spartan against Eric O'Kee. Blue Spartan's on Initium Novum. Eric's on Dirty Mike and the Boys. We got their classes. Blue Spartan has Mage, Paladin, and Warrior. And Eric's got Druid, Priest, and Warrior. Blue Spartan got his Shaman band. Eric's had his Paladin band. So they should be starting any minute. After those matches, we've got Chigmo versus Loch Ness H. Chigmo of Prepcoin Concede Loch Ness H of Temporal Legends. And then to finish it off, we got a match between our respective teams. So that should be fun. We got Troy McClure from Swagoi and JR Juggernaut from Valkyrie.
Yeah, so it should be obvious who we're cheering for in that match. If my guy wins this week, then that'll be a victory for Sogoi. And
Well, actually,
oh, really?
if he wins 3-2 and we get a sweep with our remaining match, then it's a tie. But yeah, that's pretty extreme. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
Blue Spartans queued up against Eric right now. It's 12-14 in favor of Initium Novum, so it's pretty rough for Dirty Mike and the Boys and Eric O'Kee right now.
Yeah,
They
but in our format with playoffs, every single win counts.
oh yeah, I think Eric's got to turn on spectate. Letting them know. So it looks like Blue Spartan has started out with Mage here. Looks to be Secret Mage. No other mages really
Yep.
running Counterspell.
Against a quest warrior.
Okay. Yeah, Secret Mage, the Paladin band makes tons of sense. That's just about Secret Mage's worst matchup, the various Paladin archetypes.
Yeah, man. When you copy a hydrologist, you don't even get a secret.
Haha. So it looks like Eric is keeping that quest. It should come in handy. It's definitely something you got to do against slower variants of Mage, but there's no
Yeah.
telling what that is.
Do you think he kept the 2 and 3 drop in his hand just because he wanted something to do early?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're pretty reasonable against something like Mana Worm, which a Burn Mage would tend to run. It's useful to have this stuff. Obviously, War Axe is infinitely better, but
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering is I feel like his easiest path to winning is drawing a war axe, so he might hard mulligan into that. What do you think?
I think the minions are okay to keep. Armor Smith is difficult. Acolyte can tend to get. Oh wow, coining right into the. Armor Smith wants to immediately get something out there to deal with Mana Worm, although it can't really.
For sure. I was actually wondering if keeping these small minions because he can eventually draw into war axe, drawing war axe playing at turn 3 or 4 isn't really not that bad.
No.
So I'm surprised that he coined out armor smith because I would have thought he was going to just try play the acolyte of pain and try and draw into that war axe.
Yeah. Coining out the Armor Smith seems a little strange. Armor Smith's not really going to do much of anything. And even in combination with the Whirlwind and Quest. See, now it's just kind of an awkward turn. With 2 mana, Whirlwind is not doing anything. You gotta get the Quest up. And Armor Smith can't really hit much either that means anything.
For sure. Man, if he had the slam in his hand, that'd be different. Or if he had any,
Yeah.
like, if he had sleep with the fishes, even.
Yeah. Well, gonna be hitting the Mana Worm, softening it up, which now lets the Armor Smith die in a few different ways. Oh wow, Cabal Lackey. I thought that card didn't really make the cut in Secret Mage variants, which is kind of hilarious.
You
I
have a
think.
couple. Yeah, you have a couple flexible slots, and Kabalaki is an okay one of, since it's a tempo card. In my opinion, tempo cards are the okay one ofs to play.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely as a one of, because you're already running double babbling book, double mana worm. Now, depending on how this goes, yeah, it's a good thing the mana worm didn't trade. That would have really gone into any sort of whirlwind effect. Uh, based mainly ravaging ghoul.
Right,
Wow,
Ravage.
Deathwing is straight up in this deck.
That is incredible. Yeah, and definitely Blue Spartan saw playing around the whirlwind effect.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So just gets the Stonehill Defender. Did not trigger any mirror entities. So with no I can't think of the card. The primordial or the 2 mana spell that discovers a spell makes it cheaper. Without
Primordial
that being
Glyph.
played, yeah, primordial glyph. I knew it was primordial something, but then I thought Drake. It's basically got to be counterspell.
Yeah, and I think he's going to continue to play around that whirlwind effect here.
Mm-hmm.
As predicted, if you play around it once, you're going to keep playing around it.
Okay. Thankfully, knowing that it's not Mirror Entity, this Bloodhoof Brave will at least force some spells, but Blue Spartan's pretty happy to do that. Just fire off some Frost Bolts. You could even extend into Brawl. You got the counterspell up. It's no big deal.
Yeah, he must be very excited to already have counterspell up for this
Mm-hmm.
brawl.
Yep, and the coin got used early, so no worries about that. Yeah, you're even safe against Sleep with the Fishes, so it's really tough. You'd have to get triggered with the Whirlwind first. Yeah, I think we're just gonna extend in and toss some frost bolts, or you could just do the
Yeah.
one frost bolt. Yeah.
Yep, just because of just because um he might play another minion. You're going to keep the Frostbolt.
Yeah, it's really nice too. You can save the second Frostbolt now having 2 mana worms on the board. If a War Axe were to get played, like it just got tap decked, and it will certainly need to be played. Now you have the option to just Frostbolt face, and you're still protected against Brawl. So it really means a lot to freeze the face and just keep pushing with minions here.
Well, especially when you don't have any more minions in your hand.
Right. Blue Spartan definitely needs to rush this game out
Yeah.
relatively quickly. The warrior can't be given time to get to turn 8.
And I think that Spartan sees that line. I think that's what he's doing, and I think it's gonna work too. I don't think that the 6-drop into 8-drop taunt is going to be fast enough.
No, and I think Eric's even got to be worried about doing things like not even playing Acolyte and maybe just squeezing in armor up at this point. Well, no, I guess Acolyte's needed to find something like more spells to trigger this. If you could get Brawl, then you can get rid of it with Whirlwind at least.
Right. And if or he's just looking for another spell, I think. I think he anticipates counterspell. He's played a minion, so he knows it's not mirror entity, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what he's looking for, is just, can I get another way to clear this board? He might even just be like, oh, I need exactly Sleep with the Fishes.
Oh yeah, I like this too. He didn't even bother wasting any damage on Acolyte. There didn't seem to be between the counterspell and the mirror entity. With all this damage, it just gives Blue Spartan outs of drawing things like Fireball, obviously, double Firelands Portal. I don't know how Eric can bounce back from that health total now. Well, a cheap taunt will help. Tar Creeper's either of these really are good to trigger mirror entity. Obviously, Stonehill's better.
Right.
Now,
and that's game.
These can't hold.
Right. That's game on board. I think Eric Oki just went with here's the most damage I can prevent, but it's not enough. Hero power is that last point that he needs.
Yep, Babbling Book, not necessary. Yep. There were quite a few different ways of doing that. As long as the exact math was done every time on the taunts, then it was going to get through. So yeah, Secret Mage gets a win. Blue Spartan now know that it is Taunt Warrior that he's facing, which might not be too big of a deal depending on the type of Paladin that he brought.
Yeah, and I think Paladin stands a decent chance against Taunt Warrior unless it's extremely control Paladin, but I haven't seen very much of that running around.
Yeah, Control Paladin can kind of be tricky against Taunt Warrior because it's just it's also slow, so it doesn't always play the proactive game as well as it might like to.
Yeah,
So
for
we'll have
sure.
to see about that. Eric also has Priest, which is very interesting. I like Priest as a class okay, but Blue Spartan didn't bring Druid, which kind of hurts. And
Yeah.
he also banned out the Shaman, which Priest could be strong against. Well, he's going with Priest now.
Yeah, does this is this
Well, looks like Dragon Priest.
all right? Yes, that makes sense.
Blue Spartan also has Taunt Warrior,
Yeah,
which is good, I would say.
yeah, very good against Dragon Priest.
But just in general, if it were Pirate, then that'd be bad against the other Taunt Warrior. Well, now
for
at least
sure.
you've got 50-50.
Yeah, and I think that's reflected in his ban as well. I think that um, that Shaman is good against the two decks that he's played so far.
Yeah. Okay, so Dragon Priest ditches Lyra, not knowing at all what kind of warrior this is. Keeps Shadow Word Pain and Priest of the Feast on the coin. I would imagine against the worst case scenario of Pirate Warrior.
Yep, exactly. I am also I think you just I can't imagine a matchup where you would keep Lyra in your opening hand anyway.
Oh,
it's just so slow.
You'd have to have a lot of knowledge, and yeah. On the coin, yeah, it's weird. Ooh, Gluttonous Ooze. That's a really good tech card going up against both Warrior and Paladin, and it can even be relevant against mages sometime. Although I think a lot of people are feeling the Secret Mage over the Gunther Mage.
Right. But I mean, I have seen Secret Mage play Gunther. Is that I've never heard that nickname. But I don't think it's very good. But if you had a certain idea of what matchups you were going to play against, it's definitely defensible.
Yeah, looks like Eric's got a lot of good stuff against Taunt Warrior already. Shadow Word Pain does serious work. Bookworm will show up at some point. Potion of Madness can come in really handy too. I think this sort of priest should have. I think it might even have an advantage.
That's interesting.
Especially with the tech. It's just the things like Shadow Word Pain and Bookworm. They kill the Direhorn Hatchlings and Alley Armor Smiths so badly in the mid game that it's such a massive swing.
But how do they put pressure on to really advance that mid game and finish it before the late?
I guess they have to discover a big dragon or just play one in Primordial Drake, because most Taunt Warriors now are cutting Shield Slams, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that can be a challenge. If a Dragon Priest is smart and they only keep a few minions on the board at a time, then Brawl's not that useful. Well, it depends on whether Dirty Rats are being played in Blue Spartan's list here, which I don't know. It's a big call whether to play Dirty Rat or like the traditional Armorsmith Kalento type deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with his, he's not playing against Rogue, anything like that. So I think he's less likely to bring Dirty Rat.
Yeah. All right. So Blue Spartan has a choice of playing one of these 5-drops, which, I mean, yeah, the Bookworm is a turn away. Not that you know it's Dragon Priest at all.
Yeah,
You could think that.
Right, and even if your 5-drop threat just gets eliminated, it's not like you're under that much pressure. But he's gonna he's just gonna get rid of whatever he can.
This ghoul seems a little weird. The execute could have happened anyway. I guess it would force the heal on the Talon Priest to get out of the War Axe range in that way. But yeah, clearly War Axe is going bye-bye.
For sure.
Should attack before healing. Yeah. Saw the heal about to go first.
He slowed down enough. He saw it.
Okay. Well, one thing's for sure, the Curator will be a really big turn when
Oh,
that
yeah.
does happen, because Priest has nothing against that, but
I mean, he's just gonna go Direhorn Hatchling Curator. I don't, he knows that this Hatchling is gonna die, and have the earlier the Hatchling dies, the better.
right.
I do think you want to draw that in this matchup, so that's why you got to play that over the Armor Smith.
Yeah, goes with the pain. Probably gonna play another Spite Historian. I don't see anything wrong with that. Could have traded to play the Operative, but eh. Oh, there's that Deathwing. Oh,
I don't think
yeah,
he's
you
gonna
could just
take
discard.
Deathwing.
No, I don't think so. The hand's pretty big. Twilight Drake can't be bad.
Yeah, he's been hovering over that Midnight Drake though.
Midnight Drake is kind of tempting.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
Warrior doesn't have any free ways to kill it. It's still going to take 2 cards, which is the same, or a Brawl, right? Which is the same as the Midnight Drake. So
Yeah, I can kind of get behind this now. That's definitely interesting. It would take a 2-card combination, and you saw an Axe which you promptly ate, and you saw a Ravaging Ghoul get played, so it's a little awkward.
yeah,
You definitely
exactly.
gotta exert pressure and end this game, or be in a good position to before the quest gets completed. So yeah, that makes sense. No Curator this turn. Not
Yeah.
too sure.
So Spartan has just been emphasizing clearing threats as soon as possible. So this play makes sense in a consistency manner. You know, it's not the quickest value play, but it is, this is my threat, and my threat is happening faster.
Right.
Or I'm getting rid of threats faster, sorry.
Yeah, I guess by doing the Axe plus the Alley Armorsmith, having seen the Shadowword Pain, it was kind of risky against Bookworm, which could have even been discovered by the Historian. But between the Axe and the Armorsmith, maybe that set up better for Primordial Drake, and that's what Blue Spartan was thinking. So I could kind of get behind that. The Curator was just going to die, and not in a very nice way. Oh, Shield Slam. Okay.
Yeah, so he is playing Shield Slam, so he's got the kind of setup that you would want against this deck, right?
Yeah. So Primordial Drake doesn't really do anything, but it's a really frustrating body for Priest to deal with, and maybe you just play it. You're gonna get another one anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna make Priest use a little bit more mana, perhaps. On the heal, you know, he just plays another dragon and +1 heal kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Curator is just about as good at 6 health. It's not. It's also
That's true
not
against
dying.
this board.
And I guess. Oh, and you know, most Taunt Warriors are just playing the one Direhorn Hatchling. So by playing the Curator, he knew he was gonna get that Direhorn Matriarch, although it
Yeah.
would force the Shadowword Pain coming up in future turns at least. Oh, Eric just straight up drew Deathwing again. He really likes playing Deathwing.
Yeah, maybe he thinks that he's got a bunch of good matchups for it, and I don't think he's necessarily wrong.
Okay, Deathwing could be pretty big against Paladin. He really shouldn't have banned that Shaman. Alright, discovers and execute. Classic. Had no way to get through it. Finds it.
Yeah,
Getting Spartan really low, and Spartan's 4 taunts away from completing the quest. And yeah,
Direhorn double Armorsmith, right?
Direhorn double Armorsmith and Prey, basically.
I don't think he has better options. I mean,
No, the Primordial Drakes still aren't doing anything. Although, I mean, they're really, really good bodies that can't get answered. The Dire Horn, you're really just praying that there's no Shadowward Death. Even if there isn't, it's still going to die, but it'll take down a bunch with it.
Right. And the Primordial Drake also sets up well for next turn's Primordial Drake.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He's going to kill whatever minions attack the Primordial Drake through a heal plus a power word shield.
Yeah, this makes sense. Oh, also, I just learned in chat, worth pointing out that, yeah, this series is completely sealed for Initium Novum, but yeah, every point definitely counts.
Yeah, this is the playoffs matter game.
Yes. These teams aren't division rivals, but whatever. Okay, so we
Yeah.
can get Cleric down, we can draw and keep the Operative alive. Seems like a pretty good plan. And yeah, Eric's got plenty of cards. I think you can just continue to push pressure on. You could also suicide that Nether Spite if you're really conscious of Brawl, but...
And I think Brawl might kind of be the only way you lose here.
Yeah, so maybe you could just suicide her. It's fine.
Not necessarily the only way. I think I think you've got a lot of good ways to win, but I think it's really valuable to not have only a 1/1 left.
Yeah, it's one of the big ways, and yeah, that was really smart, I think, to just suicide the useless 1/1 Nether Spite. It really does nothing.
All right,
also,
so
Eric picks up Lyra, which is this is even better now. If the pressure plan doesn't work out, you've got a few spells to combo. That can be a huge deal.
So, do you think he gains the 1 armor with playing the Primordial? Excuse me,
man.
with playing the Primordial Drake? I think that
yeah, because you're
kind
of wondering about the Shield Slam. How useful is the Shield Slam going to be, basically?
And right, so if you play the Armor Smith here, I think you're setting up for that Shield Slam to be useful next turn.
So many choices.
Right. I think you could play it after. The thing here is, I think you're smacking this Cleric because that would be another draw. Plus...
I mean, I think you're smacking the Cleric because it's the only useful thing this axe is going to do for the rest of the game.
I don't know about for the rest of the game, but you might be right. We did use a Ravaging Ghoul already. Getting actually quite a bit closer now to completing the quest, so you gotta start thinking about getting that Sulfuras and making room for it.
Right, and I think the reason that I should have been a little bit less confident with my phrasing on that's the most useful this axe hit is going to be, but he doesn't want to take like 5-6 points of damage on his next hit because I think he needs to start getting that value from his hero power.
Right.
You know, he doesn't have any value spells in his hand really, so...
Oh, there goes your dreams of armor. I would have liked to see maybe even just the... Oh, never mind. This is a much better play. Could have tried to get the Lyra out there, but it would have just been the one spell depending on what you got there. Yeah, this is much stronger.
Yeah, so the Lyra play is like the fancy...
it's like a miracle play because you gotta get a little bit of luck.
Yeah, so that was the one that the rogue player in Slimsh saw there.
Haha. So yeah, Blue Spark just finished the quest this turn seems pretty reasonable. Squeeze an armor up in, so next turn I think you can squeeze in some shield block, shield slam along with the Sulfuras.
Yeah,
which would be pretty useful.
Certainly makes sense to me, and it certainly seems like what he's going for.
Oh, at least the Trill Razor, the plot thickens. It seems like a good time for the Midnight Drake, although at least does fit perfectly, but...
I mean, I'd even be looking for Lyra clear the board.
Yeah, I think that's a really good option too.
But
play Lyra, cycle 2 spells, have a Lyra that kind of needs to be dealt with, which is hiding behind a taunt on a 2-minion board. The Lyra would have probably been game winning. Honestly.
And having a 4/5 instead of a 5/5, it's not a big difference. And you get those two cards in your hand right away. I mean, the Elise
Yeah,
pack, it's gonna have maybe three useful cards, maybe four, but and the spells, you'll probably have one useful spell. But
yeah.
just
Eric
having
doesn't
that
even.
immediately is a big deal.
Eric already used Shadow Visions too, which means that pack's probably a ways away. So it looks like Blue Spartan's gonna start off with some shield slamming before ragging. Shield slam Elise? Question mark.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna take a 50/50 anyway. Might as well have the 50/50 be on the one that deals you one less damage.
Yeah. Hitting this Primordial Drake's a huge deal because it'll make the second shield slam be useful. With that being the last shield block, if this doesn't hit,
Yeah, he can
yeah,
even
that
still shield slam here.
he could shield slam and kill it. He had to. The shield slam's really worthless.
Yeah,
Unless
that was interesting.
like this Armor Smith really needs to pull off a miracle. Well, this will definitely force
Yeah,
a
he's gonna brawl.
And I think you do a Kit Kats and throw the Armor Smith in.
Oh, I mean, probably Stonehill Defender.
Oh yeah, nope. Now you throw in
Now.
Stonehill Defender because it's just, yeah. You'll find an extra taunt which you can play next turn, maybe even a Primordial Drake or something.
Exactly. Something that is protects you. You've got nothing in your hand that protects you.
No.
Yeah. So one way or another, we're gonna brawl and then play the minion after. The minions really aren't gonna do much.
Yeah,
after
I
the
mean,
brawl.
I like him taking his time on this turn. This
Yeah.
is absolutely a pivotal turn in this game.
Oh, that Twilight Geomancer was interesting, but you want a Rag Hero power out, so you won't throw it there in the brawl.
Right.
Fog Creeper is just the biggest dude.
Who's that?
That's the worst outcome
Yep.
by a lot. Oh, that's nice. I mean, that was a useful shield slam. Which is
Yeah,
sad.
but that's not what you want.
No, definitely not.
Now, basically, if your opponent plays any threats, you just
What do you think about playing a Lyra like that? I don't know. It does set up a much better chance to win immediately, but the Lyra was kind of a way to win out of nowhere. Pressure failed.
well, you don't have any spells in your. I mean, you have Dragonfire Potion, but you can't play out with Lyra. You don't have
Yeah.
any spells in your hand, so Lyra is not immediately useful. Might as well get the immediately useful effect of having a 3/5 in play.
All it takes is one spell, though. You get a Powered Shield, and then you just need something 4 or less, which is pretty likely.
Yeah, I think he's considering, you know, if all else fails, I'm going to have to throw down this Deathwing. Might as well have this 3/5
Yeah.
to do for more
Oh my
options
God.
beforehand. There you go.
Oh my god, this Ungoro pack. You play the Ungoro pack for starters, and that Dragonfire's never gonna play. So hoping to get a spell off of this, that would be great.
What?
Oh, Circle of Healing's amazing. Okay, we didn't get. Oh my god, that Sherazan.
Yeah, he played an elemental last turn, but
Oh my God,
unfortunately
dude.
he cannot. He can't.
Oh, he's got Tar Lord. It's fine. These are amazing. Okay, he could quickly find lethal here. Just need an Inner Fire at any point. That's amazing. Look at the King Mosh and the Sherazan. He got 2 legendaries, 3 legendaries.
Yeah, I don't like not playing the Purify here.
Just
To try and
realizing
get
now.
lethal right away, but yeah,
3 legendaries.
that's pretty good. I know, doesn't that pack favor rares?
I'm pretty sure the pack guarantees you a rare, and the rest aren't the other odds just the same as normal packs. Like, you don't get 3 legendaries in a pack. I don't know. I'm gonna look this up after the match.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't get 3 legendaries in a pack.
Never. Never.
Right.
Okay, so Blue Spartan's got to really dig here. Start off with Slam, probably execute, and then fine. Okay. Well, that might be the ticket, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I like brawling a lot right now.
Hit hit with the Bog Creeper so everything's in the hero power range, I guess.
Actually,
Or you could improve your odds.
maybe you have to just save brawl, like,
Okay.
because you can play armor smith. Oh,
Okay,
interesting.
so now we really need to be hitting the Priest of the Feast.
Well, you can afford to attack the macaw with your face.
Yes, definitely.
This was unexpected. That turn was unexpected.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think if you hit the macaw with your face and then tap the hero power, I think that's a
Right.
reasonable play there as well. But I liked saving the brawl because your opponent has 9 cards in hand, but that was going to be a tough one to win. I did not when I thought that this matchup was favored for the taunt warrior, I did not realize that his opponent was going to be playing Elise, and
Elise.
that just gives him too many threats.
Yeah, Elise. The Gluttonous Ooze was actually pretty relevant. It really didn't let Blue Spartan catch back up on the board.
Right.
So 1-1, Priest gets its win, and yeah, so both have Taunt Warrior left. Blue Spartan's got Paladin we'll learn about, and Eric is queuing up the Druid,
Yeah, and
which is
that
Jade Druid.
you were right to be excited about that draw of the Elise pack, man. And that it was a less than 10% to draw, I think. But on the he had two turns. That's when he drew it on the second one. So that was absolutely a big deal. But he didn't. He only played one card from it. It could have he could have been any threat. So
Yeah.
that was a well played by Eric O'Key.
Yep, he did play that Elise, and he did get the pack a few turns later. Okay, so heavy Murlocs going on for Blue Spartan. Looks to be mid-rangey. So this sort of Paladin tends to stand somewhat of a chance against Jade Druid, but
Yeah, you can have those big push turns, and if you have one big push turn, Jade Druid can't come back in my experience.
Right. But with Wild Growth into combinations of Swipe / Jade Spirit, it looks like the Murloc shouldn't get too much out of control.
Right. Although
Which is really all you need.
This Hydrologist into Murloc War Leader, I think, is going to be very impressive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I don't know. There's probably no world where you coin out the secret.
No, I think. Go ahead.
Redemption is kind of nice. It would assure that you've got 2 Murlocs going into your War Leader turn, but I don't think a Druid's really trying to kill these low threat Murlocs that early.
Not right now, but if you play next turn, you play War Leader Redemption, I think that's going to be powerful.
Yeah, that's huge actually, because they always want to kill the War Leader, and with War Leader being left up at the end of the day, it's usually too late to deal with it unless they've got Innervate.
Yep. So he's very obviously going to be playing War Leader this turn.
War Leader and oh wait, no, never mind. He took Repentance, not Redemption. Repentance, I mean, it's good against Druid for sure, but the Redemption would have been really awesome.
Right, and he didn't know that his opponent had Swipe in hand. I think, in general, if he's planning on he had the Stampeding Kodo in his hand. If he was planning on Warrior Leader turn 3 and then Kodo turn 4, I think that's a really powerful play as well. So,
yeah. Is there much of a reason to trade into this? The War Leader isn't so much protected by preventing 2 damage.
Yeah, so this is going to save his Inquisitor, which I don't think is that valuable. I think that was Spartan's thinking, and he just misevaluated the value of this Vile Fin after a Wrath or a Swipe.
Mm-hmm.
And if he has a Wrath if he had a Wrath, this is just going to get hero powered, whatever 2/1 was or 1/1 was left alive. And but
Oh, another one. Wow. I think
Yeah.
I think Eric's plan from here is going to be to ramp with the Blossom next turn into the Primordial Drake. That's pretty insane. Any druid that double ramps like that into something meaningful is pretty good.
Especially because he can play the Tar Creeper alongside
Yep.
that.
Especially because the Tar Creeper can be played. It looks like Eric's really consistent about these gluttonous oozes.
Yeah, I mean, he's like you said, he's got 2 targets for him. Might as well.
Yeah, and the Jade Golem being a 2/2 is actually pretty nice too. The Primordial Drake should be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the Primordial
actually-
Drake's gonna clean this up.
I wonder is Consecration or Kodo here better? It's probably Kodo, right?
Well, he took that Repentance for a reason. If he goes Consecration and Repentance,
Oh.
he's gonna get into that Primordial Drake. You know,
Yeah.
and he was thinking of some card in particular, not necessarily some card, but he was thinking of some strategy in particular when he took this Repentance, and I think that this is where he's gonna shine.
I think this plays strong because of that, and it's also strong because between the Consecration rather than Kodo, you got to push 5 extra damage because of it. 2 from the Consecration and 3 from one of the 3 power Murlocs that got to live by not trading into the Tar Creeper. Well, it is kind of awkward to clean up the Drake still.
I mean, he does have the weapon.
Yeah, but is it worth protecting the 1 health Warrior Leader? It probably is, since the Druid's so low and they might have to tank it. Okay. Kind of unfortunate that Spartan drew both those Kodos. I think this Curator's only drawing 2, but that doesn't really matter. It's all about pressure at this point.
Yeah, and the Kodos aren't good anymore.
Well, it looks like that's gonna fail completely. This turn's huge. Killing the weapon and getting 2 other minions out. Kodo's irrelevant.
I think you just gotta play Curator.
Just gotta play Curator. You'll find Primordial Drake by doing that, which could come in handy. You'll find there's not many Murlocs left in the deck. Probably Hydrologist or another Tidecaller at that point.
Right.
Not that it really matters so much. Just gotta trade these Murlocs in the right order. I'm assuming you're trading. That just seems
Do you
like
think
the
so?
best way to...
Why do you think that? Because you get the Megasaur off of the Curator.
Oh yeah, we did draw the Megasaur now. Although Megasaur is going to be good no matter what. It's just
Well-
not going to buff things that are immediately on the board. I don't know. It's just I guess if there was a Wrath, it probably would have gotten played up to this point.
Oh, actually, you can still trade both the Murlocs there or one. One works too.
Mhm.
But because you have the hero power and so many other Murlocs, if you just have
Oh
that
yeah.
turn where the Murlocs live, then you're gonna be set.
Mhm.
But with this Gadget Sand, it was very impressive. I think that Eric Cookie is gonna run away with this. I will be very
Yeah.
impressed. I will be very impressed if Spartan pulls this one out, though.
Even if that War Leader did trade, the Wrath still would have been really good. The Gadgets and still would be sticking as it is. I grabbed armor. I don't know if you have to be too afraid. One thing's for sure though, you definitely keep this Jade Behemoth alive. Yes.
So, I don't know if I agree with your assessment of it being too afraid. I think that you have a Nourish in your hand. The only way you lose is with a with a bunch of fast damage.
Yeah, it's probably true. It's just something that's really hard for Paladin to do when they're so far behind, and when there's a taunt in
For
the
sure.
way. Although the board got cleared regardless, so I think it ended up being fine. For sure.
And you had the method to clear the board.
Yep.
Regardless, so
Yep.
that's
So
exactly.
you got to cycle the extra card, and that's fine.
Yeah. So what do you think of Primordial Drake here?
Yeah, I was thinking about Tyrion, but this actually does seem good. In fact, if we could get poisonous, that would be kind of nice. But yeah, everything is leaving up Gadget's in, and that's just going to be a disaster.
Well, he got poisonous. Let's see if he picks it. I think
Poisonous, the health is pretty good too.
there's
But
I mean, if your opponent had not gained so much armor, I think he might have taken stealth.
yeah, stealth would have been interesting. There's no war leaders left, so I think. Let's see. Eric still has an Innervate left. You got 11 cards left in your deck. You're drawing 4 here. Also find Swipe. There's another Wrath to find too, and it even has Yogg. So if all else fails,
I would like to see him play Yogg and lose. I like, just make a bad aggressive play.
yeah.
But no, I think he'll make the right plays based. I think he's played well the rest of this match, so I think he's gonna get this one.
Yeah, it looks like these poisonous Murlocs will pan out, but the Jades are so big. There's Aya and Jade Spirit, and that armor is really paying off now. That even if the poisonous Murlocs get to work, it's still looking pretty grim. Whoa. I think you should swipe or Feral Rage to clear some
Right.
things. Drawing the whole deck and fatiguing yourself just seems not necessary right
Yeah,
now.
I think as long as you attack the 3/2, I think you're set. I don't think it matters what you attack it with, but
Yeah. Yeah, Gadget's Undying is just fine because you've got Nourish and 7 cards left in your deck. Oh, that's Spike Ridge. Steed is well, it'd be nice to hit, but really you can just kill the 5/5 and play Tyrion and get away Kodo.
right, and you're gonna have an amazing value shenanigans with that Tyrion and Getaway Kodo, but it's not gonna be good enough because you can only deal 5 damage a turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Tyrion will definitely be a big deal. It'll get cleared relatively easy, but
Yeah,
not much will get played behind it if you're forced to hero power the shield.
yeah, he's gonna be able to hero power swipe, or I mean, honestly, he could just play Primordial Drake, just have it sit there.
Play
You know?
Primordial Drake. Are you...
It's not even that bad against Repentance or anything like that.
You ever too worried about the secret which was played? If it's another Repentance, I guess that's always gonna suck, but...
Well, this is the time when you would want to play into Repentance.
Yeah.
When your opponent only has one big minion. If there was even just a 1/1 in play, you might be looking to play Aya and then swipe instead, to make sure that your opponent has to use their big creature to get to that Repentance.
You could just make a big board and just kind of make them have to deal with it. Oh. You're swiping the face. Huh? You really wanted to get rid of the shield. And Noble Sacrifice wasn't going to be if it was Noble Sacrifice, you could just pop the spirit in there. That a swipe to the face seems
Yeah, and I mean, so Spartan has a bunch of value plays here again
Powers
as
up
well.
Yogg. Powers up Yogg. That's one reason I could see.
Yeah, and
Oh, the Peacekeeper is massive.
for sure, especially because you can play Kodo.
Yep.
And then you could play Peacekeeper, and if your opponent doesn't just waste the 1/6, which I don't think they will, then or the 1/3, whichever one you want to Peacekeeper, then you'll be able to play Kodo again next turn. You're not really, and that's really the Peacekeeper is also huge because it's the only way you can play 2 things this turn.
Yep. Yeah, so I think Peacekeeper, kill the 6/6. Yeah, Kodo, the ordering does matter as long as you're not trying to Kodo the 1/6. Then Tyrion takes extra damage. Going.
Yeah, I
Face-
think going
oh,
face
yeah,
is
that
the
makes
only
sense.
right play there. I
Yeah,
don't.
that makes
I
sense.
think
The
you
trade-
lose for sure if you go once against the 1/6.
The trade's happening for you, so
Exactly.
yeah. Well, Primordial Drake is good in that it plays around Getaway Kodo
That's awesome for.
and
For
gets you
Eric.
through. Gets you through Tyrion easily without having to do Fandral Feral Rage things, which are useless. Yeah, seems good. Blue Spartan really needs... I don't know if Equality's needed. You can tank this a little bit. You've got Spike Ridge Steed to protect yourself. You've got Primordial Drake too.
Yeah, I mean you've got Spike Ridge Steed plus a bunch of Murlocs. I don't know what else you got. Just the I think Spartan's only way to be coming back into this game is be playing 2 things a turn like Druid's doing. Or or something very very powerful.
Yeah, so you could just play Murloc's Hero Power, Spike Ridge Steed, one of the Murlocs to make the 7/7 hard to get through. But yeah, this is the more expensive thing.
Yeah, I mean clearing the board here is going to be valuable too, but putting yourself dead to no, never mind. He can't clear the board. He already attacked. All right.
Right.
This is what I expected to happen. Got it.
Right, it gets the Murlocs out behind it. So Primordial Drake, pretty easy to kill. Jade Blossom summons an 8/8, so there's that.
Right.
Are you worried about clearing this Tidecaller? And I don't know. Fandral just seems kind of like a dude at this point, with everything that's been played. I think you just kind of get him out there as a body, and you can Feral Rage for both.
Yeah, I mean, I like Fandral, Jade, Feral Rage. He's gonna nourish and then play Feral Rage. It seems like.
Oh well, Feral Rage was kind of weird because
Oh nope, he's gonna Earth and Scales. There
you
you
need
go.
the 1 damage to get. Oh yeah, okay, so that's why he did this, because obviously fatigue doesn't matter. He knew he'd find Earthen Scales, which was
There
gonna make up for
was-
not being able to hero power.
There was a let me calculate here.
There was 1 card left.
Yeah. So it could have not been Earth and Scales. But yeah, it was with the 3 draws, it was like 10% or less that he didn't find Earth and Scales. So.
That's really rough now that there's so much armor to chug through. I mean, you can still make a fairly strong play. I think that should have gone on. I'm not sure that should have gone on Tidecaller, and the Silverhand Murloc could have gotten buffed to 2/2 to kill the 8/2, and then there'd be a big taunt Tidecaller for the others to have to trade into. It'd be 7 power. Oh, okay. So Blue Spartan's going to try and rely on this taunt being such a pain to get through that both the Jades have to do it.
I think he thinks that this. I think he thinks that this Tidecaller is going to have to attack twice for him to win. I don't think he's wrong about that. So I think he made the right play.
Okay. Yeah, because if the Tidecaller got taunted up, well, no, the Rockpool Hunter could have killed the 8/2, and then I think this Tidecaller would have been an 8/9 against an 8/8.
The Rockpool Hunter it didn't have haste, or sorry, it didn't have charge.
Oh, okay, never mind. The Rockpool Hunter would have not gone on the Tidecaller, so it would have been a 7/9.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Wild Growth, so we can draw more Jade Idols. Okay. Oh, okay.
It's over since he drew a taunt.
There's no way to get out, because even if Ragalight Lord's healing your face and you clear the Behemoth, you're still dead to the board and hero power.
Right? Yes.
That's, yeah, exactly 18 damage.
So I think Spartan didn't like this would have been an incredibly hard to see line, but um, Spartan knew that there was another Jade Behemoth in the deck. But I really was impressed with the way that Spartan finished this game. If
Yeah.
there was no taunt on the other side of the board right here, he would really be sitting well. Um, his opponent put 12 points of power into play last turn, and that doesn't happen very often.
No.
So I'm impressed with the way he set himself up in this game.
Yeah, he really thought about it. But yeah, didn't draw any equalities, which hurt quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quality
Jade
would have
Druid
been an
can definitely
amazing
go-
draw on that turn.
Yeah, Jade Druid can basically just do this against non-aggressive paladins. It's really hard.
Yeah, I think.
Well, Yogg didn't have to get played, so that's always good.
Agreed. And I always like to see somebody drawing a dead card. It obviously wasn't dead, but I Spartan definitely played his little heart out there, and I'm very impressed. I think we'll see some great things from Spartan this season.
Yeah, Spartan's 2-1 for the season, so definitely doing well. I think Initium Novum's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I lost the pure standings before games got played.
Yeah, I would also love to. I'd like to compliment Eric Oki on his card choices for this matchup. I think that he was definitely right to be playing Gluttonous Ooze, and I think that he was also right to be playing playing Deathwing. It's really I think that he is playing against a bit slower board filling decks. It's very good choice.
Yeah, Deathwing could actually make all the difference in this game because the mid-range paladin definitely is what you want. A mid-range Murloc paladin is definitely what you'd want against a taunt warrior. And just having that one extra clear after whatever combination of Sleep with the Fishes and Brawl are exhausted, then you can just play Deathwing. Maybe you even have the new hero power at that point, and Aldors are used. So that'll be
Exactly.
the hope. And it seems like Blue Spartan's got obviously a good start with Murlocs into War Leader. No, could have been better.
right. It's hard to get the 1, 2, 3 though.
Oh yeah.
I think his last game against Druid definitely. I definitely think you were right that Druid was favored, but he had the cards
Had
that he
about the
needed
best he could.
to put up a good fight.
hmm
I think that game was incredible to watch. I think it featured some very good play from both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I guess if that redemption had been picked, I don't know about this. If that redemption had been picked, then it would have been a really different game.
Yep, for sure. And I do think that was a small mistake. I think that both choices were really defensible, but Druid definitely. I think you can count on Druid having a removal spell in that situation.
What
And I think
what do you
that-
think? What do you think about this though? This Tide Caller
Yeah,
play
yeah, yeah,
over
this
the
game that-
Hydrologist?
that we're looking into right here. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh
Huh.
yeah, I think it's super cool.
Well,
I think so. If you play Hydrologist
Yep.
and he plays gosh, I like this setup. I can't
Warax,
right, if
Slam,
he's gonna play Warax or Slam no matter what into
Mhm.
oh geez, into whatever creature you play. If he doesn't have the Warax or Slam, this is more damage faster. It's-
right.
So that's why, because these cards aren't helping you an extreme amount in the late game. So getting that extra, what it's gonna be 2 extra points of damage is what it looks like to me. Oh no, it's only gonna be 1. It's gonna be 1 extra point of damage from that ordering. So that's why I really like it.
Huh. I'd have to go back and think about it a lot because I think getting the secret from the hydrologist could be really useful going forward with the war leader. If you could get noble sacrifice, then you could protect that a little bit more for the early turns.
That's true.
You definitely thought long and hard about it, though.
Yeah, and I think you are highlighting that the major difference is
Yeah.
The major difference is hey, I'm preparing myself to transition into the mid game with this value, or hey, I'm focusing on dealing this damage in the earliest part of the game.
Yeah. And also, Blue Spartan chose not to use the Megasaur on just the one target last turn. He's kind of planning long, maybe even thinking to a turn where Vilefin Inquisitor's been played and you can get a little bit more. So he's going to play this slow from the looks of things. And the getaway code is perfect. You'll get the Hydrologist back for the Megasaur in the future.
Yep.
Guess the question is, does Eric want to kill this?
Eric does have the Dirty Rat. I don't imagine we'll see that one soon.
Oh, definitely. So Eric could get both the Ghoul and the Stonehill Defender out. I think you would play, the Ghoul first.
Yeah. Ghoul first because you want to see what secrets there are. And I really, really like pointing out the Stonehill Defender here. It leaves you with a 3/3 in play, and that is very, very powerful against this deck.
Yeah, I like it too. It gives you more options too, because you've got Bloodhoof Brave and Hero Power next turn, but either Direhorn or Alley Armorsmith's way better. Alley Armorsmith versus Direhorn Hatchling. Eric saw the one Kodo that game. He never saw the second, did he?
Right. So, I think that with the information that he has, the Armorsmith is a really good choice.
Okay. Well, the Kodo just got played, so that's fine. I guess that was the. Yeah, I mean, the other play was Hydrologist Megasaur, and it's pretty well established here that Blue Spartan wants way more out of the Megasaur for this game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Alley Armorsmith dodged a major bullet there, and it's probably the play you could do Bloodhoof Brave and Acolyte the next turn and have big taunts protecting Acolyte. That feels really good. Ooh. I don't know about the Dirty Rat.
So, if you're gonna play Dirty Rat, don't you want to wait till you draw a brawl? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Especially since Blue Spartan's gonna be playing around brawl a good amount the entire game, so you can abuse them for doing that on the turn of Dirty Rat.
And even just
Alley
playing
Armorsmith seems like the way to go.
Right, because Alley Armorsmith is the card that he's gonna play the Dirty Rat. That's gonna get rewarded.
I mean, it used 6 mana, but if a Tyrion or a Primordial Drake or a Rag Light Lord came out, ooh.
Exactly, and he's seen all 3 of those.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess this will get cleaned up, and Stonehill Defenders in some combination, maybe what you discover seems like the most consistent thing for Spartan to do. Spartan is not playing this Murloc stuff. Although if you do find Getaway Kodo, it is really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Does find it, so there will be plenty of good targets on the board to Getaway Kodo.
Yeah, and he's gonna play that golden Stonehill Defender too to get that extra golden taunt.
Yeah,
and then get another golden Stonehill Defender and another golden taunt from that getaway.
I think
Kodo.
Blue Spartan
I'm
needs
impressed.
to spend 800 dust to craft another. It is 800. Oh, it took Noble Sacrifice. What? Getaway Kodo would have been so good. Noble Sacrifice. Wait, Gold Shire. What were the options?
I didn't even see you. It took
so
that Gold Shire
It was
so fast. I think there was something bigger, and I think there was maybe a silverback patriarch.
I think there might have been a misclick.
Well, I don't know. Footman is better than the 1/4 for 3.
I would take Goldshire Footman against an aggressive deck, or um if I had Tareem in my hand, maybe.
Yeah, that's maybe he wants to play it after the Primordial Drake.
Okay, so we're hitting here, kind of setting up for the Drake, and just putting out more minions. So Primordial Drake should be pretty relevant here. Well, whoa there. He was about to play that. Okay, so Primordial Drake, you could. How's the math work out here best?
Not well in my mind.
Not well at all, because you've got a pretty big board here yourself that's gonna get killed in the process. So it's probably just better to play Stonehill Defender and see what else you can find. Tareem or Tyrion, you've got roughly 40% to find one of those two.
Yep, and I think you absolutely want to play Stonehill because you don't have a big threat in your hand. You don't have a lot. You don't have any more Murlocs. You know, that's it.
Yep, we can do better than Goldshire Footman. We can find a nice new taunt here. Well, Blue Spartan, is he disconnected?
I hope not.
No. Okay, we're doing things. That's good.
All right.
I think he's playing this Primordial Drake.
Yep, he is.
All right, that hurts, but
It's not as bad as it could have been.
He did trade well to do it. Not much armor was gained, and only a Kodo was killed, and a Stonehill Defender hurt.
Right.
And
So
Eric's just gonna play Primordial Drake in response.
I want to point out that chat is giving me a great ribbing about me using Magic the Gathering terms.
Oh yeah, haste.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But that has happened since I started playing Hearthstone in beta, and since it's been going on for 2 years, I don't think it's going to end anytime soon.
Yeah. All right, so Peacekeeper makes sense. I'd imagine that Stonehill's also getting played, which. I think it's still getting played.
Yeah.
There's 3 mana. So slight missequencing. In fact, I wonder about the Vilefin because of the way that Megasaur has been handled this whole time.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Curator is definitely the way to go.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, there's still another Kodo, which is amazing.
Yep.
I don't know if Blue Spartan's playing 2 Primordial Drakes. A lot of lists only play 1.
Just the other options are so underwhelming. Oh, he's going to take the one that plays into Brawl. He has no big options to give Divine Shield here. I wonder what he's thinking about that.
Curator was going to get you another Murloc, which is good for Megasaur, and get you another Kodo, which is just good for Alley Armor Smiths, Acolytes of Pain, things like that. Yeah, it's a really good brawl.
Yeah, I mean,
when a Paladin has 3 cards in their hand. You also have to play that before you play Deathwing. Pretty obvious. Kind of awkward, the relationship here between Acolyte and Deathwing. But we'll see. Yeah. Okay, we found Curator anyway, so.
Yeah. I would definitely say that Deathwing here is functioning in a way that Yogg-Saron does, in that you really hope you don't have to play it, but when you do, you press the button and you cross your fingers.
Let me think.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna play Curator. Possibly, I think both Hydrologists got played at this point. Could be wrong.
Only one Hydrologist has been played.
Okay, you got a track run. I don't know. Trackabot hates me, or you're just that good.
So for the first 2 games of this match, I was
of course,
definitely.
Megasaur was left.
Yeah, that's also a very good one. So for the first 2 games of this set, I was just using my brain, and then I realized that
it's hard.
I had better things to do.
Yeah, I should really turn on deck tracker or something. All right, ready for action. I think it could have waited for a turn with Tareem, but whatever.
Look,
He's
he
here,
picked the Footman
and
because he knew he would
he
have
squeezed him in.
1 mana at some point in this game, and here is the time when he found that 1 mana.
Mana efficiency. So smack Acolyte into something, unless we just want to play Deathwing, which being so close to completing the quest, I don't know why you'd sabotage yourself like that. Probably
Right.
finish the quest before playing Deathwing would be the way to go.
And there you
Okay,
go.
we drew another taunt, so we're gonna finish the quest this turn and also get the weapon, which you could play. Huh? Do we care much about what taunt? I mean,
No, I don't think so.
you'll get. I think Cornered Sentry would be the way to go. You've got no, some whirlwind effects were played. You do have another brawl though. It's pretty handy.
Yeah, he's played 2 Ravaging Ghouls and 1 Whirlwind, so
Oh
would
no,
be
never
playing
mind.
it in with a brawl.
Public Defender gets the quest done right here and now, which means you can fire off a shot.
I mean, firing off a
that's-
shot is at its least valuable point in the game.
Oh,
my
yeah,
God.
it's real bad. but
Never mind.
That
I
was
was
really
wrong.
good. That was really good.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I loved. I watched Friday Night Fight last night. The caster curse is awesome, where it's just the players love to make you look stupid. That was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it was well calculated. So yeah, this is definitely a Megasaur turn given that the brawl's been played.
Yep.
Definitely a Megasaur turn. Get 3. If you could get the Death Rattle, that would be very good, but really won't be complaining with other options.
Mm. I am always curious about the choices between poisonous and +3 attack.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, +3 attack is
Um,
almost always better, but when somebody picks poisonous over +3 attack, I think it's very, very interesting.
In this scenario, Poisonous lets you get through the Public Defender easily, but I don't even know how good that is because not much is coming of that. Like, if you got the +3 attack, then you would also kill it.
Right.
And these hits are kind of weird. Putting the Gold Shower Footman into range of getting killed by the Acolyte.
Well, I think that's okay.
Yeah,
There's not like
I mean, you've got
it's
bigger.
not a big deal.
There are bigger things to worry about for sure. It's just the hits seem kind of funky.
I think this
I
is
don't
the
know what
Deathwing
they're
turn.
setting up for. Is this the Deathwing turn? So you've got your hero power. A Peacekeeper was played.
I mean, I think
Otherwise,
it's a Deathwing turn.
you're trying to find your other brawl or sleep with the fishes if you cycle with Acolyte. Well,
Wow.
okay. Ooh, okay, no. Always would be hitting there first. I think the Deathwing actually makes a lot of sense now that you mention it, because you'd still have your weapon up.
That was a very, very weird turn. There's just some awkward sequencing that I
Yeah.
think he was thinking too fast. I think he made really good plays, but I think he just I think correctly he didn't plan through the entire sequence of everything he was doing, because he would have roped if Eric
Right.
had gone through all of his thoughts. But he came out with a very good outcome. I think he played well there.
Yeah, I mean, the question was to Deathwing or not to Deathwing. He ended up executing the 1-2, which let him get through to the War Leader. But I still don't know if that's the right way to go. I mean, I guess Eric's kind of also looking at this Deathwing, and he's saying, well, if I don't play this Deathwing, I kind of want to play it soon. I better get rid of these cards that are in my hand. But, I mean, the Acolyte's still going to get you more cards.
Yeah,
I think
and-
this was Blue Spartan's best play, though, getting the Spike Ridge down, the True Silver.
Oh yeah, I think that play was very easy. Or not. I think that play was far and away the best play.
Although there will be a 50-50 chance for the Stegodon.
That's
that
fine
remains to
though.
get taken
It's
care
just
of, which
it's
is-
just a
yeah,
2.
It's fine.
Can't get buffed by anything necessarily. So
And then Ali Armorsmith protects the Acolyte. He's going to play that Axe because, yep, could Deathwing at any moment here.
Yeah.
And not fearing weapon removal, despite running a lot of it himself.
Yeah, and I would say I wanted to add this one more thing about that past turn where Eric kind of was lacking on time. Another huge indicator of somebody running out of time is when they attack when they trade with their minions, and then play Armorsmith afterwards. So that's kind of what tipped me off there. But I think it's still a very impressive turn.
Yeah. Yep,
All right.
so Raglight Lord is just a... So Crime Street Protector is getting... It complicates the Rag hero power by putting a big taunt up in the way. Technically, you can get killed. Obviously, you'd like to hit it with the hero power, though. Now there's
Yeah.
a 1 in 3 of doing. So this does
very
this does
respectable
seem...
play.
Yeah, it is stronger than the Raglight. The Raglight Lord was going to be pretty straightforward. It was going to be a dead Murloc and another 50-50. So Blue Spartan has improved the odds this way. And also, if this Divine Shield Murloc sticks, then maybe Megasaur will be good.
Yeah,
I kind of like this, yeah.
Poisonous on a Divine Shield 1/1 is very good.
Mm-hmm. How many Whirlwind effects are left? A Primordial Drake and a Ravaging Ghoul got played.
2 Ravaging Ghouls have gotten played.
2 Ravaging
So
Ghouls, yeah.
we've got a
yeah.
Primordial Drake in the deck and a Whirlwind left in the deck.
So the Sleep with the Fishes got played kind of inefficiently, but again, Death.
I think that playing Sleep with the Fishes there was great. It allows you to clear the board.
Considering what was left in the deck, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you also, if you play Sleep with the Fishes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. If you play Sleep with the Fishes there, you
no.
just had your opponent has an empty board. I think that's exactly what you
and
want.
guaranteeing the rag shot at the end of the day is what made it really
Right.
get sold.
Especially
it seemed
because
weird at first, but then everything became clear.
Yeah, you can't afford to be patient in this scenario. I think. Well, actually,
what's
never
the
mind.
plan
You can.
here?
You could.
So Dirty Rat's shown up. You can kill the Murloc. Dirty Rat, imagining anything but Tyrion, essentially.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think you
Let's
know
go.
your.
Let's go, Rag. Kill your brother.
No.
All right, you didn't get him.
I think that it's a very safe assumption to say that if my opponent had Tyrion, he already would have played him.
Eric played the second brawl, right?
No, just one brawl's been played.
Just the one brawl. Okay, so
Yeah.
Dirty Rat. Yeah, I mean, it just seemed the constant struggle is I have Deathwing in my hand. If I have cards, I must play them.
Yeah.
That
Well,
seems to be the consistent path that Eric's been taking in.
yeah, I mean, it's and he got the poisonous, and this is
Yep.
we're gonna see the Deathwing now.
Yeah, most certainly. Raglight Lord is icing on the cake. Heals himself, which is unfortunate for Blue Spartan, but it's going to be hilarious for Sunkeeper to answer Deathwing.
Yes, it is.
Which it was either going to be Sunkeeper or Aldor. So it was somewhat. There was like a 1 in 5 chance that Blue Spartan would have that.
See, so I think you have to play Deathwing here, and I want to
Yeah.
talk about
100%.
I think it's not as obvious as 100%, maybe like 90-95. You might be you might be thinking about playing around Tyrion. You don't have too many threats left in your deck.
True. You've got a pretty decent life total. If you War Axe the Poisonous Murloc, you've got 2 out of 3 to hit one of those minions with your hero power, which would obviously be
right.
great.
But
And then you save the Deathwing for the next turn, rather than leaving yourself vulnerable to Peacekeeper, Sunkeeper type stuff.
yeah, and then
Funny how they're both keepers.
exactly, and then talk through why playing Deathwing here is still correct. Go ahead.
Yeah. I guess either's fine. Oh my god. Well, you don't have to
No,
do that.
you have the 4/1 weapon. You're gonna play Sunkeeper.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess to talk about why not playing Deathwing would be good, you'd have to see what else was left in the deck. I guess Eric's been sitting on the Deathwing so long, and finally was only going to discard one card, and got the guarantee to kill Rag Lightlord, which would have kept healing Blue Spartan. Obviously, he wants to kill him with the hero power. So I think Deathwing makes more sense than not now.
Yes. Also, I want to point out that playing the Deathwing there was still correct because if you go to too low of a life total and then
Yeah, we would
clear
have gotten pretty
the
low.
Tyrion, if you get too low of a life total, your opponent doesn't have to play Tyrion. Or if you get to too low of a life total and your opponent
Oh my god, this Eye for an Eye
gets
is
the weapon,
hilarious.
you'll win.
I love it.
This
That's
eye
really
for an
smart.
eye for 8 damage, yeah, it's going to be way better than anything else you can get.
That's
You're not going to
smart.
get one card for 8 damage.
Especially, yeah, Getaway Kodo and things like that are kind of unreliable now, being so low.
Very, very good draw from Eric here.
Very good. So, obviously knows there's no repentance or redemption. And he's
Now he
going to
knows
learn
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
Excellent. Love it.
Bam.
All right, he's got a quality consecration. I think he's going to play it.
I think you have to do it. Time's running really, really short.
It's funny that the healing from the True Silver Champion put him into the 3 hits from hero power range rather than just the 2.
Yep.
And that's going to be game, I think.
Ali Armorsmith? Yeah, we're going to play that. So Tyrion is very, very important here now. And that is
Right.
anything but Tyrion. Okay. So hero power, the Rag hero power is still not lethal, but Eric can increase the chances. All the whirlwind effects that make this game easy are gone now. What's Curator even draw? Direhorn Matriarch?
I think he's just going to play Curator just because
Oh, yeah.
he's...
Get the
there's-
body. More than anything.
What are the ways that you can lose?
Or
And-
sorry, Direhorn Hatchling.
Right. The ways that you can lose include
That hero power
running
makes
out of
sense.
creatures. So just having more creatures is definitely gonna be enough.
Yep. So Eric can set up some 1 and 3 lethals here. No execute playable, so yeah, smack the 2/2. Could have even smacked the 2/3 with the Curator, but this gives armor, so that's plus.
Yeah, not much
Yeah.
not much to say now.
No, yeah, Tyrion's here, but well, no, it's a big deal.
I
There's
mean,
not much way to get through it, but I think
Tyrion
he's
matters.
just gonna...
I think you just brawl.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Um,
If any of your 3 creatures win, you win the game.
oh yeah. So
And you don't
taking a
have-
3... I guess the question is, would...
Oh wait, no.
Oh wait,
you have
no,
execute,
he can just
you
execute. No, he
win. Yeah.
won't. It's not guaranteed.
Right, but that's a
It's,
way better. 50-50
yeah.
is way better than...
Oh wow, really focusing on keeping Ali Armorsmith.
I think actually what he wanted was the 1 card in his deck to
Yeah.
take less fatigue damage over time.
Okay, goes for the 50-50. That actually seems weird because why wouldn't you just trade with the Murloc and then hero power the face, put Paladin down to 1, and then yeah.
I
Ali
think he
Armorsmith is
was.
there.
I actually think that that his play was correct. I think
Really?
taking the 50-50 to just win now rather than putting your
Yeah,
opponent to
but
1.
What was Paladin gonna top deck that would save them even? Especially playing the Acolyte like this, you could even clear a Murloc. I don't know. Getting them to 1 means that
This
they'd be
Acolyte's
dead, right?
lethal.
Especially
That's-
playing the
that's
Acolyte, they'd
true.
also be dead.
Yeah, I did not think about the Acolyte in hand. That's
Yeah,
very,
it
very
seemed
true.
because it seemed insane to play the Acolyte because you're in fatigue, but the Acolyte represents
And-
a lot of extra. Oh, there we go. Never
Yep.
mind.
And the Acolyte was actually a pretty safe play because you had the Brawl in hand, so
Okay.
you could kill your own Acolyte.
That is the win for Eric O'Key. Goes 3-1. Doesn't save them in the series, but gets some points for Dirty Mike and the boys.
Yeah, I think that I love casting with you, Slimsh. By the way, this is incredible. It's really fun to have
Yeah.
casters with very differing opinions on lines of play.
Yeah,
I was
it's
just brought a
definitely interesting.
milkshake, everyone. So I'm gonna take like a minute after Slim's response here, and I'm gonna get my milkshake.
Oh yeah, get that milkshake. We still have the next match coming. Yeah, this is fun. I am definitely not perfect when it comes to analyzing or playing all the time. I don't see the perfect option every time. I try to see like perspectives of what players are doing and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting. It's always a learning process in casting, especially when you've got people to bounce ideas off of and a chat who catches things that even we don't see. So yeah, I like to have them open in case anything goes wrong. So next up is while the milkshake occurs, we got Chigmo, who's already in the channel screen, which is great, against Loch Ness H. Chigmo, of course, from PrepCoin can see Loch Ness H from Temporal Legends. Chigmo's got a really good season going. He's 3-0. Loch Ness H has a good one too, 2-1. And we've got some word here that Chigmo has banned Loch Ness H's Paladin. And Loch Ness H banned Shaman. The Shamans are getting banned like crazy tonight. And Chigmo's left with Druid Mage Paladin. Loch Ness H has Druid Mage Warrior. I think the reason that Loch Ness H is probably banning Shaman here is that Token Shaman's one of the better decks against Secret Mage, which maybe Loch Ness is playing, although... And it's also consistent in protecting maybe a Pirate Warrior, maybe an Aggro Druid. So these are some pretty good reasons to be banning Shaman. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And
Alright.
Chigmo banning Paladin that's in the interest of Secret Mage, so could be that.
Thank you, everyone. I've gotten my peanut butter milkshake. It is delicious.
That sounds really good.
Yeah. So yeah, I will say also I'm not perfect, which is why having somebody who disagrees to get to those better plays is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear the ban stuff?
Yes,
Okay.
for the second match. Yep.
Yeah. So two people banning Shaman tonight. Shaman is not one of the more brought classes, but it can definitely pose a serious threat against things like Aggro Druid, Secret Mage. Apparently, Token Shaman is one of the few things that can beat it. Okay, they're in. Yeah, so Druid Mage Paladin for Chigmo versus Druid Mage Warrior. Also, this is probably our most exciting match tonight because Chigmo has to win in order to finish the series. He also needs to win 3-1 or better because Temporal Legends is 3 points up. If he wins 3-2, it's a tie, which he definitely doesn't want. You get 2
Yeah.
extra bonus points every time. Looks like Chigmo has Jade Druid.
Yep. And his opener is spicy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So Jade Druid against Secret Mage. I would imagine Secret Mage would be pretty favored. Mirror Entity is just insane.
Yeah.
Usually copying a pretty decent target.
I would say Earthen Scales is a very terrible card against Secret Mage, but it's the perfect card to play into Counterspell.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of good ways to weed out Counterspell. Okay, so it is Secret Mage. That actually wasn't obvious from the get-go, but yeah, Mirror Entity. For sure now. Oh, 3-1 Chigmo is a tie, apparently. That
Wow.
would be... Oh yeah, that'd be 13-13. Yeah, 3-1's a tie, so Chigmo actually has to sweep to win. That's a
Wow.
lot of pressure to be put down. Oh, and there's Mana Worm on 2 turn, classic. Turn 2.
Absolutely. Um,
But I like the last game, the Tidecaller got played, but I think the Arcanologist is.
I think Arcanologist here is better because
Yeah.
you're still going to turn Mana Worm into a bigger worm at the same pace.
Yeah, Mana
Um,
Worm with Primordial Glyph later will be potentially insane.
Right.
Yeah. So whether to play the Secret on 3, well, it would obviously be the Mirror Entity. You never want to play Counterspell while Coin's still in the mix. But Mirror Entity could copy a Jade Spirit in this specific instance with the turns lining up the way they
Yeah,
have,
and
and
it's
that'd be pretty bad.
it would you just I think you're
Yeah,
right. You just
just
say
go-
Mirror Entity. You
and
just
just go
play
wide.
play all your shit.
Right. This is what Druid's weak against. This seems like the strongest way to go. So Chigmo, you can clear one of these and just Wild Growth again. Seems pretty good.
Yeah. Which one do you think you clear? I think it's the worm.
I would think so too. 2/3s are rough, but Mana Worm will quickly become a 3, a 3/3, a 4/3. It's worth thinking about that and not having to Feral Rage tank it. Swiping it's really expensive.
Yeah, and you can Feral Rage Jade Blossom next turn. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Yeah, Chigmo's ramping insanely. He just needs to find something better like Jade Behemoth, maybe a Primordial Drake to set something up. Oh, Faceless Summoner. That's a really good inclusion against Druid.
Damn,
really good.
I am, and I also think Faceless Summoner is good against Paladin, and I think it's good against Warrior. Specific, just not. It's not very good against Pirate Warrior. It's still a little bit too slow, but
Yeah.
against the Quest Warrior and Control Warrior, it's very good. So I'm again impressed by somebody's deck building.
I think I was actually wondering about Secret Mage. I was wondering why more people don't play Water Elemental when it comes to going up against things like Druid and Warrior. I think that would also be a good choice. But Faceless Summoner, the bad thing about it is that it's expensive, but everything else in the Secret Mage is so low that it's fine. Really. Okay, so immediately there's a secret. Chigmo's. I think Chigmo respects his opponent, Loch Ness H, and knowing that it won't be Counterspell. But he's going to test for it anyway because I think he wants to do Fandral.
I think
Jade Blossom at least. Yeah.
if it's Counterspell, you still have Feral Rage and Jade Blossom. If it's not Counterspell, you have this swipe turn, which makes it so your opponent has to use mana, removing your 1/1, or you trade with Hero Power. Both kind of are forcing your opponent to trade away a little bit of that tempo, and that's exactly what you want
Yep.
when you're playing against this Secret Mage.
Another Mirror Entity. Vaporize is a really interesting option.
You don't want Vaporize when you're playing tempo decks. It's
No, because that assumes that you'll fall behind and it'll kill something, but
exactly.
he goes for it. The other Mirror Entity probably would have been really good. So Chigmo's going to have to continue. The good news is if Andro were to get copied by Mirror Entity, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's a 3/5 for Mage. Not like Jade Behemoth would be.
Right.
But you figure a counterspell got used. Which counterspell was that? That was the one. No, both of those were from the deck. The Primordial
Yep.
Glyphs on the far right.
Yep. Both counterspells are from the deck.
Yep. So with a secret already in play, which also came from the deck, being Mirror Entity, you figure this is counterspell. Is this going to be it from the turn? Yeah, looks like it.
It's really
You
interesting.
don't want to give them a Fandral with charge. I mean, he can eat the counterspell at any point with Earthen Scales if he wants to, once he has a minion. That was a very passive turn, though.
Yeah, and this is an amazing turn from Loch Ness.
Yeah, Loch Ness has huge board, counterspell, protecting. Oh, I mean, that's. It hurts, but it's really good at
It's-
the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have the 2 minions to break through the Primordial Drake, but it's still going to be a card plus the health of a minion, or it's going to be like fireball plus the Drake, which is really not that bad of a scenario.
Right. And now, yeah, so now Fandra won't pop up there. You can still always eat it with Earthen Skills. Yeah, you know it's counterspell.
I think you don't eat it with Earthen Scales on that turn because you don't
Yeah.
want your opponent to be able to play the second counterspell here. Just because you want to eat the you want to eat the first one with the Earthen Scales and then be able to attack.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's a nice card. That's really good. You're getting a 7/7 off your fire lands. It really doesn't get much better than that.
That's impressive.
Jade Idol can also eat it, but yeah, he's gonna let Earthen Scales do it. Getting armor anyway like this. Is he going to play Jade Idol or just Hero Power? I think he would Hero Power.
It's tough.
It's pretty unlikely that you'll draw one of those, although you have 4 in your deck technically.
Jade,
It's rough either way, really.
yeah, but so if your opponent had
And
no
that's
cards
just-
in hand, yeah, that's game. If your opponent
Wait,
had
no,
no
it's
cards
not.
in,
Well, essentially. Oh
no,
wait, yeah,
that's
it
game.
is.
Yeah,
Okay, I miscounted there for a second.
because you had fireball. But if your opponent starts trading with your board, having the 2/2 in play allows you to make the trades with the 5 damage from your face and stuff. So it's rough. That was exactly as you said. Jade Druid had 3 ramp spells, removal, everything you think it would need to be a tempo deck, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, Secret Mage is doing really well every time I see it in THL so far. It yeah, you just kind of bring it, you ban accordingly, and you set it up to be in a good position. It's very hard to counter, but I think Chigma was probably walking the series thinking that might happen. Gonna stick
sure.
with the Jade Druid, which is actually way better than it has been in the past against Pirate Warrior even. So I think one way or another it'll be good against Warrior. Unfortunately against Aggro Druid here, but has Tar Creeper, so it's teched a little bit. Which makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Because the Jades are always kind of going to do their Jade thing. You put things like Tar Creeper and it's just good time.
Yeah. So one of the things about mid-range to control style of decks is you can tune them, and that's one of the things people like about them, and that's why they tend to play them.
Yep.
So Druid has that card draw to draw more of its deck, so the inconsistencies from when the tech cards aren't so good can be smoothed out.
Yep. Yeah, and there's definitely some room for flexibility. You could cut a Primordial Drake or something. Loch Ness
Oh, yeah.
Age has really interesting decisions here. If you save the Innervate Fledgling correctly with Mark of the Lotus, then it can't be killed.
Why don't you just innervate Fledgling, coin out Mark of the Lotus?
You could, but if you had waited one turn, you also could have gotten the Mark of the Lotus on the Corsair and the patches. I mean,
yeah.
it seems weird to be so slow like that for an aggro deck, but
No, that's 4 extra damage. That's awesome.
yeah, I still think you'd Mark of the Lotus here.
Yes, I think you Mark of the Lotus here, but Ravasaur is also very defensible. It could get you more than 3 No. Mark of the Lotus is just better.
Went for the Wind Fury. You think it
You-
was worth? Oh well, yeah, obviously
You-
the Wind Fury, because then you get the extra chance of getting Divine Shield or Health, or yeah, +1/+1/+3 or Divine Shield or Stealth.
Yeah,
So it's always right to take it.
it's not technically always right, but the odds of you not getting +3 health, +1/+1, or can't be targeted
Yeah,
are
they're so
very
low,
low.
right? Oh yeah, can't be targeted. Although that wouldn't protect against Feral Rage, but I guess if they're tanking
Or
at 3
stealth.
on turn 4, then yeah,
So you have 4 options that are protect this creature in this
Yeah.
scenario. 3 of them are incredibly good. And I am, if I calculated it, I would say it's probably like 92, but just doing it off the top of my head, I know it's greater than 80% to get one of those
yeah, that sounds hard.
3. Sorry, that's
Oh no, that's
one of
fine.
my things.
So Loch Ness H by hero powering can connect the fledgling for at least 8.
I think you just use the divine shield and some either the hero power or the
Yeah,
the minion.
and then
Just
you just play
because.
your other fledgling, and
Yep.
yeah, you've got 2 fledglings, which is terrifying.
Yep.
They both have to be dealt with.
Yep. I think that this game's pretty set.
It's pretty, yeah. It's yeah. Setting it up for this is like outside of Innervate, it's really not doing much. Yeah, so Chigmo's down 2 games right from the get-go and has to reverse sweep Warrior. So this is
Yep.
now officially a win for Temporal Legends. They got their 14 points, and Chigmo at most can get 13 for his team.
Yep.
So, yep, hopefully Chigmo has brought good decks against Warrior. He's going to have to pick his best option here, because obviously you want all the points you can get.
Right. And
Looks like
so-
that's Mage, in his opinion.
oof.
Which Pirate Warriors... Oh, okay, this is Cy Gunther's Mage.
Yeah. Tell me a
but
bit
you
about
can
that deck.
tell by the Elise. Has a really good start. Both of them do, though.
So is the Cy Gunther like a slow
It's
controlling?
it's the Discover Mage, basically.
Okay, cool.
It's got the Couriers and usually Medivh the Guardian. With the upgrade and the Cultist, wonder if you should save some of these. I'm not a very good Pirate Warrior, but player, that is. It's a weakness. So, upgrade seems pretty good, but Bloodsail Raider is much more sturdy against going into the Cultist turn.
I don't know. You saw your opponent keep 2 cards, right?
You did.
So
You figured it was a Frostbolt.
yeah, I mean the sorts
if
of
they're-
cards
No,
that
never mind.
Mage would keep against Warrior are Mana Worms and Frostbolts. Maybe Arcanologists. So
Yeah. If there was a second Mana Worm, it would have gotten.
coined out.
And if there was a Babbling Book, it would not have been played. Like, you would have just done Mana Worm, coin Mana Worm. Basically.
And yeah, this is it's gonna proceed like this. He's gonna be able to clear the Mana Worm with that upgrade. So playing the 2/3 leaves him in a situation where he has gained more tempo and done not quite as much damage.
Okay, so just coining out the Frostbolt, it's going to set up to commit to a ping maybe next turn, which is kind of awkward, but yeah, it looks like this will fall through. How much do you want to upgrade this hook, though, knowing that you're going to have Arcanite Reaper?
You really, really wanted to draw another threat this turn. I think
Yeah.
that is
Like,
what you were
Frothing
counting on.
Berserker, Core Chron Elite, Bloodsail, Cultist,
Yeah, any threat.
any minion.
So I think that because you have no threats, I think you just Mortal Strike the 2/3. No, like you said, knowing that you're going to play Arcanite Reaper next turn. Oh, interesting. He just decides to do nothing.
Okay. Well, this gives Chigmo a lot of opportunity. Is not forced to ping now if he doesn't want to. Can do Mana Worm and Ice Berry to get set up defensively. Or you can also just ping and play Mana Worm and keep your 2/3 around, although it'll die. It's good to kill all the pirates though for the second cultist, although the second cultist would have been played, so
Right.
this game got kind of weird. It seemed like Loch Ness H is just massively stalled out.
Right.
It
And
wasn't willing to use Immortal Strike for board control. It's just all face.
this is his strategy. It is hit with Arcanite Reaper 3 times and then
Yeah, and Mortal
double
Strike, which
Mortal
is
Strike.
exactly 22 damage. But oh, okay. So Loch Ness is going to save the Arcanite Reaper for next turn because that was the time it was going to swing anyway.
And this is this is a turn slower, but it eliminates all the pressure that the mage has.
Yeah. By the
Um,
way, Gunther Mage typically plays one Gluttonous Ooze, so
does it
I
normally
mean,
play
if that
Eater
happens,
of
you're probably
Secrets?
losing anyway. No.
So maybe he swapped out the Gluttonous Ooze for Eater of Secrets. So
That Eater of Secrets seems really weird that it's only working in the mirror since Chigmo banned Paladin.
yeah,
It's kind of
I
fun.
agree that that is a little weird. It's kind of like the opposite of what.
Oh!
Oh, he
my
had it.
God. Oh, he was screwed until that happened.
And then Loch Ness knows that's.
Oh.
And
Oh my-
he even drew, the pirates to go with that weapon, and
Oh my God. Yeah, he would have been in real trouble. That Arcanite Reaper was not going to go away anytime soon. The Ice Berry was basically going to get negated by the deckhand and the extra charge. Uh,
yeah,
Wow.
that one kind of took us by
Loch Ness
surprise
H
there.
is holding out for a weapon now. Either another hook or a... Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's Grookfu Master!
What even is this card?
Oh my God, he's a meme, but he's gonna be a hero. This
Did you
game.
know that Grok Fu is the ancient Hosian art of bashing heads with a stick? Apparently, you bash him twice, and he is going to bash Gramash's head with this stick. That's for sure.
Did you learn this from reading the flavor text or something?
Yeah, that's what the flavor text is.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew this off. Okay, well,
God
Loch Ness
no,
is...
I didn't even know what this card was. I've never seen it. I mean, I'm sure I've seen it. I read the spoiler.
All right, Loch Ness doesn't want to get embarrassed by by Grookfu Master, and after
man.
seeing that it was Ice Berry, he figures his chances are pretty low to get through 26 health in that amount of time. Oh my God, the
Yep.
normally I'm down with the complaints against random cards like that, but it's just it's really kind of fun when Grookfu Master can make someone concede. Well, Chigmo has a chance to come back and get some extra points. They can't win the series, but he can still try to reverse sweep this Pirate Warrior.
I think Salt Life talking about the water elemental. That's a really interesting
Yeah,
point.
that's a
is
pretty
that
good
turn
point.
4 is clogged.
Turn 4 is clogged, but I think you would play Water Elemental 5/5 sometimes. I mean, if you're against a Pirate Warrior that has a weapon up, it's got to be better to be able to stall that than playing a 5/5.
Did you see Loch Ness throw away an upgrade? What do you think about that?
Did he have Nazoth's first mate?
No, that was his only early game.
I don't know. Do you normally keep upgrade? You're just kind of looking for first mate
That's true.
for the most part. I don't know. So Chigmo brought Nazoth Paladin. This
Yeah.
is kind of the best of both worlds when it comes to going against the idea of taunt warriors, that you've got a control paladin that's going to have a really sticky Nazoth turn against the board clear. But by then they'll probably
Yeah,
and
and
Nazoth Paladin's really an interesting deck to me.
yeah, and
general.
I think that it's gonna be very good in this game.
So to kill the Doomsayer or to not kill the Doomsayer, it's pretty easy to kill it.
Yeah, I think you
does
kill it
take
because
a-
you've got the captain next turn. You've got a very good 3 mana play next turn.
Yeah, and besides the 4 damage that you spend to kill this Doomsayer, you'll be getting it back, right, between these pirates and the South Sea Captain.
Yeah, so you get 3 of it back immediately, or it's not exactly 3 of it back, but you get some of it back immediately, and you have the potential to be getting a lot of it back.
Yeah. Consecration's still going to be an issue, but
Consecration was going to be an issue no
you
matter
just
what.
yeah,
you did.
it was going to be a big deal. So you just kind of got to deal with it. Plays around Noble Sacrifice, very smart.
Yeah, I think Noble Sacrifice is just a very obvious pick here if it's up, or
Yeah,
Getaway Coda if it was up
Chigmo
anyway.
picked that
So.
real quick. In fact, some people make arguments for like slowing things down like that.
Yeah, just to if you pick it real quick, your opponent knows that you got a good one, kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
I go back and forth on that. But I think a little. Just I don't know. I got kind of swayed.
If you should think a little, unless it makes you play badly in other ways. Like that's
Right.
that's the old Magic the Gathering thing is when you're mulliganing, if your thoughts about how your opponent is going to interpret your mulligan are making you make the wrong mulligan choices, you need to just be playing faster. So I would only tell somebody that's at the very, very high level of Hearthstone that think about that. Taking that time.
So it looks like now don't care about trading because if there's consecration, you got your extra 2 damage in. I guess.
Yep. Especially you don't care about trading because consecration doesn't change the amount of minions that your opponent can clear.
Right. So this is very, very bad. The equality Peacekeeper is just kind of the way to reduce the largest amount of damage.
Yep.
But unless you can get to turn 8, this is not really going anywhere. You should have Peacekeepered the captain.
Yep.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. So there's no reason for...
No, this is game.
This
that's 14.
is just lethal, yeah.
If it wasn't lethal, you'd
Pretty
just
easy.
spend the mana on the Mortal Strike.
Or I think you probably... no, you have to think about Ivory Knight a little bit. Okay, so unlike the previous series, that one went pretty quick. Loch Ness was able to get the 3-1 win over Chigmo.
Yep, and I think that my man Troy McClure has been watching, so he should
Nice.
be ready soon.
Cool. So this should be it. So yeah, between Swagoi and Valkyrie, Swagoi's up 9 points to 7. Valkyrie basically most realistically needs to win the remainder of the games. There's very fringe cases where losing a 5-game series here can lead to a sweep win. So let's just say realistically Valkyrie needs to win out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had lost to you 3-1. D Lyman lost to Animore 3-2, and Crackshot had won 3-1.
Yep, he beat the PhD of the posterior.
Oh yeah, PhD McPosterior. So Troy McClure against JR Juggernaut. JR Juggernaut, by the way, is completely new to the league.
Interesting.
Not having a great season so far, but I can speak that JR Juggernaut is very active in our Discord, very much about communicating when it comes to preparation and everything along those lines. So JR Juggernaut's been a cool teammate.
Yeah.
So far, I think he does the right stuff.
And I will talk about a different experience with Troy McClure here. Is, Troy McClure is a player that has to have the fire to be performing well at Hearthstone.
Fire,
I don't know.
like Roy?
I don't.
Troy McClure is pondering new quests. Nice. All right, I don't know. Only Brunson will.
No, no, the fire, like the desire to win.
Yeah.
And play well.
Well, Troy's 2-1 for the season, so
exactly.
I'm
And
thinking the fire's there.
oh yeah. I had to aggressively ask him to participate again. And once he was in, became very, very excited.
All
And
right, so you lit the fire and it has not extinguished since.
exactly, that's
All right.
that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying THL. Thank you to THL to getting Troy back into competitive.
Nice. Okay. So Troy McClure has Hunter, Paladin, Rogue, Warrior. It's a really interesting lineup. Hunter is not seen much at all, and Rogue has also kind of become more fringe. Although it's obviously a very powerful class, but not bringing Druid or Mage is kind of unpopular right now.
Yeah. So our team has been. So two things. Troy was kind of struggling getting Druid to work. Obviously, Animar has had a ton of success with aggro Druid.
Oh yeah.
But Troy just couldn't get it to work. And Tim was also having success with Hunter. Tim played Hunter this week and drew both kill commands, so he did very well. And that's kind of a deck that exceeds at playing. That's, I'd say, either his best or second best that he as skill wise for his lineup tonight. So
Yeah, Hunter's a weird class. It's been on the steady decline ever since the beginning of the expansion, but it's really not really bad against anything. It's not a really polarizing class, but you can make certain tech decisions. I remember the other night that Animor was playing Hunter and he got off quite the deadly shot, which you don't tend to expect. And it can make a huge difference. There's things like that. There's Hunters. You can put in any number of Unleash the Hounds. It's just there is a certain amount of flexibility to Hunter,
yeah,
and it's very consistent.
And your opponent kind of has to play around to Unleash the Hounds and Deadly Shot. And
Yeah.
I know that Troy McClure is definitely playing a Deadly Shot in his list tonight. So
Yeah, it's just really consistent in the early game with the amount of that they've given it. So yeah, Hunter's fairly reliable. It's just a question of how it stacks up against the other various classes, which JR Juggernaut's kind of brought the four most common classes this week. He brought Druid, Mage, Paladin, and Warrior. I think a lot of people look at these four classes and it doesn't seem like you can go too wrong with them, but when you go outside of them with things like Hunter, Rogue, we saw Shaman tonight, we saw a Priest at some point, there is room to abuse them in different ways.
yeah, I mean the Priest deck performed incredibly well, and
Yeah, I really like Priest. In general, I try to be brave to bring it more, but it's really scary when there's rogues in the mix. We haven't seen a lot of rogue tonight. We'll potentially see it from Troy.
playing any deck with that like miracle or combo potential can always be scary.
Yeah.
I've always been impressed at your abilities with Rogue, and I was very, very happy that you did not bring it this week.
Yeah,
but it's because it's such a risky, it's a combo style deck that it's risky against certain things.
I had certain feelings about Rogue in the beginning of the THL season, and I have nearly done a 180. Initially, I thought it was going to be a class which would be brought, and it would completely get targeted with aggressive decks, and it ultimately would phase itself out. But the nature of Quest Rogue is that given enough time, it will be able to complete the quest in a timely manner. And if you lure the aggressive decks out, then you can counter them with your other decks. And I think overall, with that strategy, you'll increase your odds of winning the match to a pretty good amount. So, yeah, I don't know. That's at least my take on Rogue right now. It might change in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but it's a really interesting class.
I think that this is an incredibly interesting conversation because it leads to discussion about when to play combo decks. And the answer is if your opponent can't stop your combo or is too slow, always play a combo deck. But there are so many fast decks, but I don't think there are 4 aggro decks. So that is what I'm seeing. I agree with your assessment, and I'm seeing that since there aren't 4 aggro decks, that rogue is a solid that combo rogue is a solid choice.
Well, the funny thing is that Mage doesn't really have an aggro deck, but I looked at the Vicious Syndicate numbers, and Secret Mage has a 67% win rate against Quest Rogue.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. Paladin doesn't have an aggressive deck that's as good as Druid or Warrior when it comes to going up against Rogue. Like, Druid and Warrior are just way better at being aggressive than Paladin.
Oh yeah, I don't think Paladin's very good against Quest Rogue at all.
No, like, you can try to build a more aggressive Murloc Paladin, but yeah, it's just not going to be quite as good. I think you'll have slightly over 50% chances at that point, so you might have to find the win elsewhere. So yeah, Paladin becomes a little weird in that equation. And yeah, it looks like both of them have banned Paladin.
Yep, and that is what I knew would happen. I could have commented on that, but
Yeah, I knew Paladin was going to get banned too.
but back I want to finish up the Quest Rogue topic real quick. So you named 3 decks that were great against Quest Rogue. Is there a 4th aggro deck that you've found that I haven't noticed, perhaps?
Well, it would have to be a different class.
Sure, of course.
I don't think Hunter can go in that direction well enough. I guess Aggro Shaman doesn't really work anymore. At least in beating Rogue. Oh, you know what's really good against Quest Rogue is Zoo. But yeah, that's kind of a joke.
Hey man.
Yeah, there's not 4 decks, but you can give yourself.
Yeah,
well, I guess it'd be 2 out of 3 after a ban, assuming they banned the right.
Exactly, and so that's kind of what I've seen, and I don't think that I would ever play Quest Rogue on ladder right now, but
yeah,
I think it's a really good tournament deck.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like Quest Rogue is not going away. Although you can always ban it if you want to.
Exactly.
If you want to play control decks, and if you don't ban it, then you've either just given up on, or you've basically guaranteed it a free win and choose to find them elsewhere, which that could make sense. There's a class like Hunter, which it's hard to abuse Hunter though, because like I said before, also they've queued up. Hunter's just kind of
All right.
It's just kind of solid.
Yeah, exactly. Which is that's the deck you want to be playing combo against. So.
Right. So it looks like Troy is starting off with Rogue. He's got Maiev going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too loyal to Valeera to ever go back on her. So Quest Rogue, you got Quest, Novice, and Shadow Step. Seems pretty good.
Yep.
I think you would toss the Mimic Pod. I haven't played much of Quest Rogue, but the idea seems to be that you keep anything that bounces.
Yes.
Would you keep Novice though?
So when I'm playing against Mage here, I am very tempted to keep Novice, but I know that oh my gosh, he's playing Doomsayer. I'm very tempted to keep Novice Engineer, but I think it's just going to be too slow against a tempo-y Mage.
The thing I like about Novice is that you get it down, Shadow Step it, you're letting yourself draw into more bounce effects. It seems like a pretty good way to finish the quest, although I guess Firefly and things of that nature would just be better usually.
No, it's a very good way to finish the quest because it draws you into more bounce.
Right, exactly. Okay.
So if I have a bounce spell in my hand, that's the only time that I would keep Novice Engineer. I would have definitely defended his taking Novice Engineer here.
Yep. So it looks like Doomsayer will die. Comes at a pretty decent cost, but the Mana Worm can't be dealt with unless Southsea Deckhand shows up, or if Troy's playing Backstab. I don't know. Most Quest Rogues aren't playing more than one. Although, no, I think some play 2 when they want to go against the aggression, which is what you'd expect in THL.
Yep,
So
and
the
that's
plan
the
is
quest.
for Youthful Brewmaster to complete the quest, it would seem.
That's it. That's the
Or
quest.
yeah. Okay, so 2 Brewmasters are played, and yeah, it will finish the quest if this Brewmaster can stick, right? Or
No.
no, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. There's just a good amount of pressure going on, which makes life difficult. And there's also a secret to worry about now. Counterspell just ruins your day. But you saw, if he's paying close attention, he saw it came off the glyph.
Yep. He also knows that it's not counterspell because he played coin.
Oh yeah. Yes,
So
yes, that's right. That's a
I
good
think
point.
I think here he knows it's not counterspell, so he just plays all of his shit.
Yeah, complete the quest, and you know it's not counterspell, so you can do the quest next turn, and I guess things are going to get out of hand at that point, but you can vanish, knowing that there's no counterspell, and try to bounce back from there. Hopefully get some chargers would be the best thing at that
Yeah.
point.
And I sure know how it feels to get vanish counterspelled. So
How did Shadow Step would get eaten by Spellbender, wouldn't it?
no, it says friendly.
But Spellbender will take a Blessing of Kings or a friendly buff.
Oh yeah, never mind then. Yeah.
Oh, but those buffs can go on any minion. They're not restricted to friendly. So I guess it wouldn't work.
Yeah. Blessing of Kings does not say friendly minion, so
Yeah, you can do anything. So Juggernaut takes the liberty to use the Kabbalist Tome. Could have gotten the 5/5 out there, but powers up the Mana Worms a little bit, which can never be bad. I almost wonder if he would have gone with the Freezing Potion there, just get extra 2 damage, but it could probably come in handy in the future. I don't know. Oh
Yeah.
wait, you have Shatter, obviously. Keep it.
yeah. That's that'll do.
Nah. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess you keep it.
I don't like Troy's choice of plays. He's trying to get a preparation or something like that. Maybe he's just really
Yeah, he did the Mimic Pod.
I think he's really desperate, and I think it's correct to play desperately in this situation.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't reflect his earlier turns when he was bouncing the Firefly. He wasn't, he could have had more minions in play the turn before.
I got a question. This is 11 damage. Would Primordial Glyph and Freezing Potion... And between that and Sorcerer's Surprise, I think you could have found lethal, but Blizzard's also pretty reliable.
Yeah, and you have another turn to find lethal. Like,
You
your
do.
opponent's not
It
going to
just-
gain any life.
Yeah, and the quest still has to get played. That can't be overlooked. Maybe you start out with... Or wait a minute.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you're not going to die next turn.
No.
So you have the turn for free to do that.
Glyph, and if you didn't find Fireball, I suppose you would play the Mana Worms and
Yeah.
maybe freeze up the Elemental so it wouldn't be a 5/5 that could attack.
Yeah, and when your opponent's at 6, they're really, really on the back foot, honey.
Yeah, I'm sure lethal was probable, but it wasn't something that you were in any real hurry to go for. So,
Yeah, and that's
like
the
it has
important
all
point.
night, Secret Mage gets the easy win. But we'll see how things go from that point. That's been the main thing. Because Blue Spartan got the easy Secret Mage win, ended up losing that series. Loch Ness got the easy win, ended up winning that. So
Yeah, and it's so funny. Secret Mage is just a deck that has not worked for me. I would say I'm Zoo is a deck that I've played since beta, and I played Magic the Gathering, so Zoo is a deck I've been playing for many years, and that's kind of where my skills lie. I just have never been able to make Secret Mage work. So I'm always impressed to watch these players make it look easy.
It helps when you draw Mana Worm. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Not to discredit the win. It's just Mana Worm is on turn 1 is a very high win percentage card.
Yeah, it's a reason to play the deck. That's you gotta have those.
So you're playing Hunter. You're going first. Do you look aggressively for a 1-drop, or is it likely enough where you keep the Razor Maw?
That is a good question.
I'm curious, because getting the Razor Maw on a 1-drop is so good, but if you miss the 1-drop against what's presumably Aggro Druid, which we can see it. I
think
don't
it
know. This
depends.
is something I'd ask myself all in the mulligan, and I don't know that I come up with a great answer. I
So
haven't played much Hunter.
this is one of those where I default to how bad of a matchup is this? How lucky do I need to get?
I think it's a bad matchup, just slightly. It depends on how it's been teched. Keeping the Hyena seems odd.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, Hungry Crab was drawn, which is just fine.
Yeah. I think it's actually really solid.
Oh yeah, you play. There's a good chance that there's Murloc coming from the Druid, but to get the Razor Maw is just the way to go. It looks like Juggernaut's gonna go big.
I think he's just gonna make all his creatures real big right from the first turn.
Yeah, I don't see much. Okay, well he's
Didn't
gonna hold
interesting.
here apparently. Which, yeah, I don't see much of a reason to hold back on the Innervate. The longer you hold on to it, kind of the worse it gets, sort of deal.
For sure. And I think Poisonous here is by far and away the best choice.
Yep.
Allows you to trade with 2 creatures or make him spend all of next turn using just hero power. Because you don't think he has Innervate, because I think if he would have had a good Innervate, he would have used it on turn 1 there. So
Yep.
I think not playing around Innervate is a good choice.
Yep. And yeah, the Raven was going to go 1-for-1 against the Razor Maw, kind of no matter what. So it looks like, yeah, everything's just going to wait for another day, but Juggernaut probably has some good feeling of having the War Leader now, with knowing that there's no Hungry Crab.
Yeah.
Hungry Crab's interesting having banned Paladin.
For sure. And I think it's just because he didn't want to take any 1-drops out. But I also I think that Juggernaut made the right play last turn, but that it was a really depressing play to have had to make.
Yeah, I also think this is the good play, which is
Depressing
slightly
to
depressing. But all you need to do is just stay at 30 health like you are now and continue to. But yeah, the Innervate actually pays off big time now. This is quite a good turn. I think the Tundra Rhino can fight back a bit though.
Oh yeah, this
Actually
Tundra,
quite a bit.
This Tundra Rhino clears the board.
Yes, it does.
It's awesome.
It does clear the board. So
We'll see if he notices it. I mean, you could do Scavenging Hyena shenanigans here too. But
wait a minute. How?
Because the rats are beasts, right?
Yes, and you will
So
get
you go-
2 of them, and you'll
Yep.
have a total of 6 attack. And there's yeah, so you're killing the War Leader first.
Yeah, you kill the War Leader first, and then you get 6 attack.
And then we got it. And keeping the Tundra Rhino healthy.
Yep, doing it that way saved 1 health on the Tundra Rhino, which
Yeah.
definitely matters in this situation.
And that'll probably be the show. Unless Living Mana could be pretty good. Unleash the Hounds is not quite the response against that. Alright, let's see what Charging Beasts can happen here. I think you'd start with the Companion, assuming it would always get played. Yeah.
Either one gives you more information about what you're doing with your life. So
I think you'd always buff the Rhino though, although maybe if you got Misha you'd be less likely to. Some of these druids are playing Swipe though.
yeah, I think
Copier,
actually
too.
I think you're very much right about the Animal Companion, because you're not making a choice with Animal Companion, and you are making a choice with the adaptation. So
Yeah.
hand top picking the Innervate, that is, yeah, I'm definitely willing to.
Oh my god,
To call
this
the
is
game.
gonna be a big hyena.
Yeah, trade both your alley cats in and
Big
go
charging
face.
hyena. Yep. So it looks like Hunter had its day.
Yep.
I think Juggernaut definitely should have gone in big with the innervate buff play from the beginning, and that
Mhm.
would have
Well
it.
played.
He,
I think it would have changed a lot, but with this unleash, I'm not sure that it would have sealed the deal.
right.
It would have been a big deal though.
Yep.
So Hunter gets its win, but Druid still got. It has a friend in Rogue if it can find it.
Yep. And that I do not see Troy McClure queuing up Rogue for this next game.
Yeah, it's probably better to save it till the very end. So got to queue up Warrior. We'll see what kind of Warrior.
And I lost what I had to say, but yeah, we will definitely see what kind of warrior.
Why do they have comic book guy instead of Troy?
It is just to troll you.
Well, Brunson
That's
can't
it.
troll. Alright, so Troy, yep, you're right. He goes with the Warrior, and Juggernaut continues with the Druid. So it is Pirate Warrior, and Juggernaut has Galaka Crawler, which I'd imagine you'd keep. Since Taunt Warrior is such a bad matchup for you anyway, you just pray it's Pirate. That would be the reasoning, I think. He's incredibly sad if he pitches it away, but these Frothings, this is a really interesting hand. Wow.
Well, we know what he's doing on turn one.
Wow. What do you think about I thought those two Frothings on the coin was interesting, but obviously there's way better things you could be getting.
So it's definitely interesting, but because you already had a war axe,
Yeah.
I think you're coining. You're like super committed to coining out war axe. That the frothing is going to be real slow.
Yeah.
And look at how bad these Galaka crawlers are.
Two crawlers. Yeah, but he doesn't know that it's pirate, so
Oh
he
yeah,
plays it
that's
rather than
interesting.
having no play at all.
If you see the second axe instead of armor up here, do you know it's pirate now?
Not necessarily. I think you would play another axe. Just to set up to kill more stuff. So, South Sea Captain gives a charging 2/2, which improves your chances of having blood.
Yeah, and it also allows you to get one of the 1/1s out of the way.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna hit the Egnapper and then yeah, do a trade.
I think this druid though, with the cards in his hand, is very favored.
Yeah, not only the Galaka Crawler, but also Bloodsail Corsair, and then being at 30 health with Finja
Yep.
is going to be a huge problem.
You've got 5 points of power in play. Your opponent has nothing, and you're at full health.
Yep. Mortal Strike question mark
Yeah.
on the 3/4, and then yeah, Arcanite Reaper Dread Corsair the next turn. Okay. About as okay as things can be.
Oh, geez.
Oh yeah, Finja's gonna have such an easy time killing things with Bluegill Warrior and Mark of the Lotus.
So, what do you think? Troy just doesn't play Dread Corsair?
Very awkward. You could save it
would be
next turn to
awkward.
guarantee the buff. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Right. I think the reason that you don't play it is to guarantee. The
Oh
buff.
my god, we're gonna. Oh, I think these should be saved because you're gonna guarantee pull a. I guess not.
No, it gives you 6 extra damage to play him now.
Yeah,
It's-
you have a clock now, and you reveal the Finja because if he's
Pyro Warrior doesn't have a sweeper.
it's just so juicy that you'd get the two war leaders guaranteed, but it doesn't matter. You've got 2/3/2. Yeah.
Yep, that's game.
Yeah. Yeah, so despite playing one Galaka Crawler for no value,
Well, he did have the second.
yeah, he had the second one, which justified it. So now Juggernaut just needs a win with Warrior, which means that Warrior has to beat rogue at some point. You can probably guess it's pirate.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see the mirror first and go from there.
Yeah, I actually don't think we'll see the mirror first. Think we'll see rogue first because yeah.
Aqua Crawler and the rogue.
Well, it's just if this was taunt warrior. Well, never mind. They're both pretty. You could get rough matchups either way. Never mind.
Oh yeah. Oh, so Troy. Well, I guess if you're bringing rogue, I would always assume that it'd be pirates. Although, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a 1 minute conversation.
So neither player has an amazing hand. No N'Zoth first mates, no war axes, just little blood cell raiders that don't do anything.
Yep.
Which, yeah, I think they're both gonna play their raiders and just have their patches kill each other. Unless a war axe gets picked up, no?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Coining out the captain so that 2/2 patches can do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then you just accept that Blood Cell Cultist will be a 3/4, which is real. This is very realistic planning going on.
This game is
that's
hilarious.
a nice pickup. Yeah, it's just they both got very even hands. I think Juggernaut had the benefit of going first in that exchange, though.
And yeah, and it looks like these next 3 turns are going to
Favor him.
be, hey, I went first. This is great.
Yeah, hey, I went first. Hey, I can Core Crown Elite to protect my dude, or Heroic Strike, depending.
I like Heroic Strike here.
Heroic
but-
Strike, first mate, and
You could also just first mate Frothing Berserker too.
true.
So the reason that I looked at that
Oh,
Frothing
this
Berserker-
was not the way to go.
right. This is really bad on the mana
Wasted
efficiency.
2 damage weapon charge for no reason, except to play around Harrison Joan. Very important. Yeah, definitely not the right way to go. I don't know that it'll get punished. There's still plenty of charges to go into the turns, and he's way ahead on board.
Yep. I think that so yeah, I really like this play from Troy.
Oh yeah, this is the way
this is
to
definitely
go.
what you want. But so I thought the Juggernaut was actually going to make that right play the turn before because he kept the Frothing Berserker in his mind.
Oh my god, it just
Yeah, that's over.
wow. It was actually going to be kind of awkward for a second because the Frothing was going to get played into the Reaper. But yeah, now this Dread Corsair isn't even going. It was going to be very good, but with the weapon where it is now,
Yep.
it's just going to be a Frothing that is forced to be traded with the Arcanite Reaper, which, well, I don't know. It's not necessarily over. Pirate Warrior Mirrors are kind of funny in that way,
Yeah.
but Leroy is just not a very good
So
card.
so Juggernaut has 2 proactive threats in his hand, and Troy has none.
Yeah,
So that's
and
that's
Leroy's just way too awkward with the way things are currently.
yeah.
Is
I think
Troy
Troy
thinking about
is-
going face?
Yep. That's exactly what he's thinking.
Knowing that cultist can eat your Corsairs, pretty sad.
I mean, either way, just the weapon charge eating the Corsair
Either
is
way.
pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, Leroy does kind of suggest that, and if your opponent tries to outrace you, you've got this Mortal Strike, which they'll have to be careful about. If they don't, then yeah. So Cultist is basically just eating that damage, and does Kor'kron, gets to squeeze in an armor up.
Yeah, that
I think you should have protected your face there. Although, is this setting up lethal? No.
it's not.
Not even if. So that's 8, 11, 14, 15. Okay, so it does force Troy McClure to armor, technically. Well,
Yeah.
Troy doesn't know that, but you should play around 4 damage, just like another Core
Yes.
Crown, a Heroic Strike, a Mortal Strike. There's so many things.
When you are this far behind, having
Oh,
seen
that you don't.
no. Having seen oh jeez.
Oh, okay. Well,
He
if
just
Leroy
scooped.
goes face, then he's lost. Oh no, he doesn't know that, so he's not playing.
Yeah, so he's being the I'm super desperate here. I'm not even gonna play around a 2/1 charger,
Right.
or an upgrade effect.
The funny thing is though that I don't think Troy had anything that could have given him lethal the next turn by
Right.
doing that aggressive play. But he was in a really bad spot.
Yeah, he was definitely just like I've lost.
Okay.
So there's that.
So with that, Juggernaut takes it 3-1, and the series is now tied at 10-10. So it's going to
Alright.
come down to Lemur versus who's Lemur's opponent this week?
It is Brasky,
Brasky,
the most fearsome 4 seed.
the most fearsome force. Brasky.
Yeah.
I always get Brasky confused with Brewski.
Me too.
Okay, cool. Well, that was it. Tonight was the night of 3-1s.
Yeah, impressive. This was awesome. I hope to be back another time.
Yeah, I know Saturdays are kind of difficult, but if you're ever available, they are yours. So, yeah, that's it for Salty Saturday. I'm happy to be back. I think the season continues to be very, very interesting. I get to see it every week in preparing for my own matches. So,
Yeah.
it's
Can I make a
really
plug?
interesting to see what other people are doing
Can I
for
make a
Salty
plug?
Saturday. What's that? Oh, the plug. Oh my god. I think that should happen separately.
All right.
we
Sounds good.
really need to dissect that. Oh yeah, so C Parker's been typing his survey in the chat. This is a very important feedback survey for SHL. I am going to copy it and paste it once again. You'll see it in 10 minutes. Or no, you'll have seen it 10 minutes ago. Rather. So yeah, go take that. I took that. I don't play in SHL, but I will not reveal what my votes were, but I voted for things that would make me play in SHL. So you have to figure those out for yourself.
Yep. Thank you all very much. Be sure to to check out Tim from Tim's team when he streams on Animore.
Oh
7 to
yeah,
7.
please do. It's very, very entertaining stuff. And if you like HOTS, it's even better. Yep. So thank you, Tom Locke, for joining me. Thanks, C Parker, for hosting. C Parker,
Thank you very
does
much
an
for
amazing
hosting.
job.
Very definitely very good.
All right, that's it for Salty Saturday. Check out all the results as they come up.